Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we're going to have Alex. Alex from Ireland. So let's see what Alex has to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Alex, how are you?
Not too bad, William. Thank you for calling. Doing pretty well.
So tell me, how's your day going so far?
Today's been quite good. I got a lot of music done in the morning, and I went for a walk then in the afternoon. It's pretty cold. I'm feeling the cold air kind of seep into the house the last few days. So we're
Uh-huh.
moving into autumn. So I'm kind of like climatizing myself. That's what's
Do you like
going on.
do you like this time of the year?
I do like this time of the year. I think there's something, at least in me, I think that likes kind of huddling away and hibernating. I think I function quite well in that space. So I'm pretty cool with it.
I see. So
Yeah.
tell me where you're from, Alex.
Um, where am I from? So I'm from Ireland. I'm from here. I'm from southeast of Ireland, so a small town called Wexford, and that's where I grew up. Um, if I have anything to kind of say about it, where I kind of feel like I've come from. So I've come from like a very like rural place. There's like not a lot of people. Um,
Okay?
there's not a lot like a whole lot of yeah. There's not a lot of people around, and anyone who is around tends to be like 60 plus, maybe. So I feel like coming from here, from like where I'm from, it kind of feels like a different, like kind of a place removed from the world. And for that reason, maybe I think I found a lot of like cities or a lot of things in the world just to be like really exciting.
And how far are you from Dublin?
From Dublin, I think it's like 3.5 hours now.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, because
And
they built some roads, so I think it's about 3.5 hours,
and
maybe.
all your family live there as well, all your family.
Yeah, my family. I'm out here in my family home at the moment.
I see. And what do you do for work, for living, Alex?
So for money coming in, I am living off a government grant. So 3 years ago, the Irish government started a pilot scheme for artists. So they said that they take like kind of a test group. So they're going to test it on some individuals and have a control group as well.
Okay.
Um, and basically what happens is for these artists, you would get like a living wage. So I think it's like maybe 325, I think, a week. And you just kind of have that to either live off or to kind of buy you more time to work on your art. So that's the money that's coming in at the moment. Um,
Interesting.
and I don't have like I haven't this is kind of what I'm working on at the moment because I've trained in acting and I've trained in music production and mixing. So this winter has been very specifically, I've kind of sectioned out to focus on like monetizing those things so that I can work producing other people's music or to work in acting jobs. So at the
Right.
moment the money is kind of just it's kind of passive, but I'm hoping that I will have like some streams of income soon.
I, I see. So let's start the interview talking a little bit about your journey as an artist. So
Yeah.
you acting, you're doing some music as well. So
Uh-huh.
walk me through a little bit about your journey so far.
I guess I was pretty creative as a kid, but no one in my family were artists, so it wasn't an easy access route, and it kind of created, I think, a bit of pushback because being a musician or being an actor wasn't considered a viable career option, you know.
Okay. Yes.
So when I finished school, I think I always had an interest in film and either directing or cinematography mostly, and that's where it kind of started. Um, and I think the first time that I actually started creating things that I enjoyed was when I was about 15. I was part of a parkour group. Do you know parkour, the sport? Yeah. So we had one of those there in town, just me and a group of friends. And like with skating, what we would do is we would go out and film ourselves doing all the tricks and flips, right? And for whatever reason, I just thought it was the coolest thing ever to just like get the camera and to like film it, bring it home and do the video. So those were the
Yeah.
first like real kind of creations that I made.
Yeah.
And I love them. And I think like my friends like them as well. And that was like, I don't know, having someone like something that you made, you know, there's
Uh-huh.
like it's really affirming, I think, you know, to express yourself in a way, even in conversation, like to express yourself in a way and to have someone like receive you, it's like super affirming. So I think that was probably where the interest started. But I finished school and thought about doing a course in film in college. But things kind of went left and right, and I think I kind of got like directed onto a different route. I think the family were kind of concerned of whether it was going to be an income source. So I ended up doing English and geography in college, which was awesome. I totally love both of those subjects. But after college finished, then so I did 3 years doing that, and I stayed. I liked acting, and I did like acting in and around whenever I could. But after that, after I finished college, I graduated in the year of COVID. So I graduated in my living room, right? It was like one of the Zoom graduation ceremonies.
What a special place to be on graduation.
Yeah, you know what, man? I dug it. Like I really enjoyed the experience. I know most people like were kind of unhappy about it, but I honestly dug it. But that was the year I finished, and I think COVID kind of had this effect on the general population where people were like, they had so much free time. I think it was a little bit of a creative revolution. You know, it was like a lot of people discovered. Absolutely. When everything falls away, it's like, what do you really care about? And a lot of people had that space to care about, or to find out that they cared about their own creativity and what they made, you know?
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, no, sorry. But that's where it kind of started, I guess. And I think I just got the bug for it so much. I just kind of fell in such hard and deep love with the act of creating and being a creative, that I just said, it was kind of all I wanted to do, you know, and that's it. I've forced myself like not to take like any kind of jobs that don't partake to it in any sort of degree since then, which I do feel kind of guilty about, because I feel like to some degree I should probably be like pulling my weight more, but I feel like the trade-off has been these few years since lockdown where I've been like just trying to build my knowledge and my skill set and my understanding of the things that I love, so that when I do land work, or when I do step out into the working world in these things, that I can hold my weight and I can deliver products or deliver art or deliver whatever else, that is to the standard that people can appreciate and absorb.
Yes, I was saying that. So the Magic Box, I started the show during this time as well, the COVID, because as you mentioned, was a special time, you know, besides the whole sadness around the globe with people, you know, losing their families, or everyone getting, you know, to a point where not expecting, being sick and everything. However, we had the opportunity as well to somehow discover something that maybe wasn't there, or maybe to explore a bit more about our skills, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I get your points exactly, totally, because I know exactly what you mean, because I've been there as well at this time of the, you know, and not just me and you, a lot of people as well, they find a way to somehow explore their talents, let's put it this way.
Yeah, that's it. And I think it was I think the conditions that it was under were kind of the perfect boiling pot, or the perfect pressure cooker for showing how art can impact people. Because all we had to really do all day was kind of consume stuff that people, films, TV shows, or just content. And I think we kind of were shown like just how powerful, say, interviews like this, how powerful they can be in making real, I guess, like change, be it social change or like just personal change to individual people. So yeah, I totally I get where it comes from.
Alex, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through memories in life and share your point of views? Ready?
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box.
Hello.
So I have here my best friend. Random questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the first question, okay?
Okay, sure.
Let's do it.
Let's go for it.
Yes, you can always dance with me. So before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. First question is, what's something that you always wanted to do, but you're scared of?
You know, I'm doing it now, but I think something I was always scared of doing was posting on social media, like really posting myself on social media, or like speaking to a camera and posting on social media. I'm doing it now, and it's pretty cool. But that was something I've always been scared of.
But why is that? Why do you think you're scared about doing that?
I think the pantheon of the internet and the pantheon of people's perceptions has I think I've personally myself, I don't think it's necessarily the way it is, but I think I've kind of inflated it maybe to a point where I think it means more than it actually means. You know, where I thought, oh my God, if people don't like me, that must mean they're right, and there must be some reason why they don't like me. And I don't know if I'm just at a place now where it's like, no, that's not true. If they don't like you, that's a thing, that's okay, but that doesn't mean that you're on the wrong track, like, you know. And I think that's probably why I've been scared too up until this point. It's just kind of been like a bit of a mindset shift.
And when was the moment that somehow you broke this ice, that for you, did something happen, or you just felt like, you know what, let me step in, let me do that, let me get out of my maybe comfort zone or something that you're scared of?
Yeah, do you know what? Because before I started posting on social media, I came off it entirely for like a year before. Like I had no Instagram, no TikTok. I had absolutely like as little social media as I could. And I think maybe spending that year or so off social media, I just kind of reframed because I grew up with social media since I was 15, 14. And I
Right.
think stepping away from it kind of reframed to myself like how, because you do so much discovery from 15 up to 25, right? In generally in life. And I think when you have social media there as kind of like almost like a mirror or like a reference board, like how what photos do people's like that are mine, you kind
Yeah.
of gauge your worth in a little way off that. So when you take that away and it's like I'm not on social media at all, maybe the center of your self-worth shifts to something internal. And then
Yeah.
it's like, well, now I'm here, and if I post on social media, it's not scary because if people don't like it, it doesn't hold as much weight. That's what I'd probably
Amazing.
say. Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Let's
Go
do
on
it.
ahead.
All right. Next question is, what 3 things do you want to be remembered for?
I would like to be remembered for the positive impact I have had on people's lives. Did you say 3 things?
3 things, yeah.
Ooh, positive impact I've had on people's lives. Close people to me and people who maybe not have known me. I think the potential is there for the influence to be wide reaching. So I think that's there. And I can't think of any other two.
So tell me, saying that, based on your answer, when you think about yourself, what's the biggest joy of being Alex? What do you like the most about being you?
Geez, that's a hard question too, because I feel like I kind of find it hard to put it down to one thing. I think I just kind of like all of me and who I am, and even the parts that I don't like about myself. Um, I I also see their importance in feeding the parts that I do like. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a bunch of things that I like about myself, but then some of the time, some of the things that I really like about myself on one time, like one year, might be the things that I really don't like about myself in the other year. You know,
Right.
so it swings. But I think like generally, I just like all of who I am as a person, and I appreciate all of the things that add up to that.
I see. And there is something that you've been working on that you think you could improve, or do you think that, we have our things that sometimes it takes time for us to improve or to work on it, and there is something that you've been working on?
Yeah, I
What?
think something that's come up lately has been to be like more selfless. I think more selfless, both like as a person, like how I show up for people, like listening to people more or whatever, and then also like in the work I do, because I think I'm so fixated on where the work is going or what it will mean when I get the work done, and I'm realizing the importance of just sitting down and enjoying the day that's in it and doing the work. But that doesn't mean that it has to be like, like it has to be a hoodie and motivational music and it needs to be like
Right.
a grind. It can just be like you're enjoying your life and you're doing work and you're doing it without any expectation. That's something I think, yeah, I think that's
And
something.
which person in your life right now you feel more connected with or more close to at the moment?
That's really funny. I have a friend at the moment who's over in Bali in Australia. So I'm in Ireland and he's over in Bali in Australia. And it's so funny you say that because like so I moved back from Cork. I was living in Cork City in Ireland recently, and me and him were living together at that time. And it's one of these funny things that now that he's over there in Australia and Bali and I'm here, we're like voice noting, and I've worked with some music on him recently. Um, our relationship lately has, and I feel like even though like we don't like we call every once in a while, even though we're not in each other's company, I feel like I know what vibe he's on, and he knows what vibe I'm on. Like in a week or in a day, you know, like it's almost like we're like super close. But it's like we're kind of like we're almost tighter now, even though we're like all that distance apart.
Okay, so your friend is watching this interview right now. When you have a moment, an opportunity to send them a message, what would you say? He's watching.
I was thinking of the last voice note he sent, which I absolutely cannot repeat. I absolutely cannot repeat in public. Um, oh man, like I just love you. Do you know the music that you make is so original and like I know I've said this to you so many times, but like no one that I've come across has their own artistic like touch like you do, and I'm just forever grateful that you're in my life. Um,
Oh,
no handshakes, no hand down. Like you're day one, and you're one of the best, and you'll always be there. Like no matter what happens. Yeah, okay.
sweet, very sweet. Oh my God.
Felt
I
that, felt
love,
that.
I love the connection that we have with people. What I believe
Mm-hmm.
is those special people like friends, we don't choose them. They just come into your life. Do you know what I mean? We don't
Mm-hmm.
go around saying, oh, you're going to be my best friend. I'm going to be
Mm-hmm.
close to you. It doesn't work like that. They
No.
just are introduced to us, and that's how the magic happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Same with anything. Same with the
Yeah,
passions or the job you love. You know, it's things that are meant for you are just meant for you.
beautiful. Next question. Let's do it.
Fire on.
All right. Let's go, Alex from Ireland.
Hey,
Tell me something that you like to cook.
that's not I get a good lighting.
Yeah.
Something I like to cook. Do you know what I've really been digging recently? Quinoa with some olives and feta cheese and oh, and throw in some. So you throw the olives and feta cheese like into the quinoa, but then you fry tofu and tofu and what was the other thing I had? Falafels. So you get like from falafels, you break them all up, throw them in with the tofu in the pan, and then throw a load of butter in. So the falafels soak up the butter. Throw that into the quinoa. Whatever that's called, the Alex Quinoa special is what I'll call it. That is that's what I've been cooking lately. Mm-hmm.
Tell me something that you can't eat at all, or you don't like to eat at all. There is something, any food that for you find very difficult to eat, or you don't like it.
I'm vegetarian, and I went vegetarian a year ago,
Okay.
which is kind of something new. And I'm usually very bad at sticking to habits. Like I'll say, I'm going to try this, I'm going to just, and I'd never usually do it. And with vegetarianism, for some reason, I've loved it. And I said, I'm vegetarian now, and I've just been vegetarian.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, and you know what? It's great. It's great. I'm getting everything I need. It's way easier to go into restaurants and just to know I'll just go for the vegetarian option. And there's like two things to choose from instead of like 15. So yeah, I'm loving it. I guess meat. Yeah, meat in general.
You know what? I can see behind you this guitar on your
Mhm.
left-hand side in your wall. So tell
Yes,
me the
sir.
story behind. Tell me how music came into your life.
That's very interesting. So music came into my life. Well, the story about the guitar first, actually. I just moved down to Cork to be with my friend who I just spoke to,
Yeah.
and he had a housemate who was playing like Dungeons and Dragons or something online with another guy in the city, and he was Spanish, and they made music and whatever. We all decided to meet up, so we went over to these guys' house, and it was maybe 3 or 4 Spanish guys that all like played music and all like were guitarists.
Yeah.
And if you see behind me here, I have the other side. I have a ukulele, right?
Yeah, I can see.
So that was my weapon of choice back then. And when I went over to these guys' houses, you know, I was playing and I was doing some piano, or I was making music with them, just like ukulele, and I was jamming with them. And they were maybe, I think, 5 or 6 years older than me. And for whatever reason, I don't know, we were just playing. But one of the guys, oh, I'm a huge Beatles fan. And
Okay.
this guy was also a huge Beatles fan. So we sat down and he was playing the guitar and we were singing some Beatles songs together. And then I think it was coming up to my birthday. And I'd literally just met this guy. And he was just like, hey man, and he bought me this guitar. He was just like he was like, first of all, you need to quit the ukulele. That shit is for like babies. You're not a kid. Pick up a guitar, learn a guitar. And then he got me this. Yeah, and I'm in love with it. It's amazing. It's one of my
And
favorites.
how music, that's how music came into your life? That's how music introduced to you?
Sorry, yeah, that's how the guitar came into my life. Music. Okay, so music. I I was in, I think, the choir when I was a kid, when I was in school. But apart from that, I had no involvement in music at all.
Right.
I think it was like the last summer of college before lockdown, 2019, and I was living in Vancouver, and I don't know, man. Music. I moved, so all my friends were staying there, and I intentionally moved over to. I wanted to move to a city on my own and learn how to have a life, how to rent a place, work a job, and do all this like on my own, like how to have independence for a summer. So I think I got very close to music in that time. Um, and I remember listening to the Beatles over there, and the Beatles. I was listening to a bunch of artists, but the Beatles struck something with me. There was something that happened with me in the Beatles that summer. I don't know what it was. It was crazy. It felt like a spiritual thing. Um, and then I just came back. I think from that summer, back into college, my last year of college, when I was doing English and geography, and I just started making music. I downloaded a music program, got into like got a keyboard, um, and just started like writing down lyrics, figuring out chords, taught myself music theory, taught myself production and all this crack. Just took away from it. And then, it was the best thing ever because then lockdown happened, And then
Wow.
college went out and I was like deadly. I have like unlimited time to just do music and like just to fucking learn about music. So that's how I transitioned from being like a non-musician to a musician. Yeah. And that's kind of my relationship with it.
3 questions left. Let's do it.
Is that all? Oh.
Right.
Yes.
Alex, before the next question, when I was checking your profile, your videos on TikTok, I saw 2 videos there that you talk very dearly and very open. What's this connection with your sister that with special needs, that you talk so open about it, that you talk so beautifully?
Actually, earlier on in the video, I think you heard someone at the door. That was her. And I've built like this little kind of a lock on my door. It's like screws and a piece of thread because I don't know how to. The door doesn't have a lock, so I've had to like install my own lock on it.
Right.
There was a moment there where I was like scared to let her come in and kind of be seen by the camera or to be seen like to be part of the interview. Maybe that's because I don't know if there's like a brotherly instinct or something like this where it's like I want to maybe protect her from people's perceptions of her, which might not necessarily be true, but just maybe in myself,
Yeah.
So, I love her and I want to protect her and I want to make sure that I, as her brother, I'm doing the best that I can do and doing what she needs me to do. I know that at some point when my parents, whenever they get too old to look after her, that I'm going to have to be the one to step up to the plate. And I think a lot of my life has been informed by that. I think the reason that I set myself on a course that I'm set on is because I want to have my life figured out enough that I can look after myself and have a good life and also have enough time and enough freedom and also enough happiness in myself that I can bring it into her life as well and make her life as good as I can. I think and it's a strange thing. It's a very complex thing. I remember my parents had told me stories of, say we've done a school play and I was like maybe 4 or 5 and maybe it was a nativity play and everyone's hanging around afterwards and she's there and she's very excitable and she's she kind of has these outbursts, she kind of makes these high-pitched noises, screams a little bit, and one of the boys in the class like made fun of her or whatever or took her off, and he's only we're all like 5 or 6 or whatever at the time, so it's okay, like but he kind of made fun of her, and my parents told me, and I don't remember this at all, but they told me that I just went over and just laid him out in front of his parents and everyone else. So like I think there's a part of me that's like, obviously I love her and is very protective of her, but then on the flip side there's another half that's, I guess, I think, I've spoken about it online about the difficulties of growing up with a sibling with disability and how you feel like you're kind of deprived of so much attention from your parents. So it's, like anything else, it's a yin yang kind of a thing. It's like, it's a very beautiful thing. And I think it represents one of the most beautiful sides of me.
Yeah.
And then also represents like almost one of the worst sides of me, which is like maybe a lack of patience or something like this, you know? Yeah. Yeah. If that holds up as an answer.
And so far, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from your sister?
Hmm. That like joy is not tied to anything on earth. Joy is not tied to money. Joy is not tied to work scenario. It's not tied to whoever you are. Joy is joy, and it can find you wherever you choose to find it.
Wow.
And you are as responsible of moving towards joy as it is in moving towards you.
Wow. Beautiful. Okay. Next question is, what hurt your feelings?
What hurt my feelings in life?
Yeah, overall, what hurt your feelings that gets you?
Girls.
That's interesting. I love it.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why do you think, you can get very easily hurt by girls?
Yeah, I think there's a part of me, like, I think I'm very in touch with the feminine part of me, the feminine, like, half of me. And I think, I relate to girls a lot. I grew up around girls, like my mom and my sister, and I always spent time, like, I used to go to my minder's house after school, and it was like my minder and then a family, and also another family were sharing the minders, and it was a family of 4 girls, so I was like, I was totally surrounded by girls my whole life. And I think that's made me very sensitive and very emotional, which is cool. But I think maybe in some ways, like when I approach like a relationship, I find like I relate to things that girls talk about relationships. I relate to those things more than I relate to things that guys would talk about in relationships, you know. And I'm super sensitive, and I think the same way girls get their heart broken, I feel like I'm also getting my heart broken, like in the same kind of ways, so which is girls aren't the problem, like also maybe girls do break, like maybe it is, I don't know.
And when you are in the date scene, what's something about girls that gets your attention for you to connect with someone when you are on the dating scene? What's the first thing that for you gets your attention straight away about someone?
Authenticity. Authenticity, 100%. I find that I haven't really got a type, which I've tried to figure out for myself. I'm like, do I like these kind of girls or these kind of girls or what? And I find they can be they can like whatever music or be into whatever they're into, but as long as they're authentic, it just cleans the board for me.
Nice. Okay. Tell me about your first kiss and your first love.
Okay. First kiss. Oh Jesus. Oh no, first kiss. First kiss. We were in a drama group when we were kids, and we had our changing room. So it was this really old building in town, and we had our changing room up on the very top floor. It was kind of like an attic almost. And I think there was maybe, I don't know, 12 of us kids. I think we were maybe 13, 14 at the time, all sharing this room. And I think we just had there was like a kind of a cubby hole, and naturally, like in the show, a bunch of like 13, 14-year-olds, we just were like playing spin the bottle. And I think that was the first kiss. It was one of these like spin the bottle things. And then my first love, whoa. Now I'm wondering like, where do I draw the line between like who was the first, you mean romantic love, obviously.
Actually, yes, could be romantic, but so tell me, I'm gonna put the question a different way. Tell me the very first time when love hit you, that you felt like, oh my God, now I know the meaning of love. Now I understand what love means.
That's so interesting. That's a very good question. Because I think when it hit me at 15, I thought I figured it out, and then it hit me at 17, and I thought I figured it out. Right?
I know.
But yeah, I think when I was the very first time, I think I experienced. No, actually, I'm gonna go before that. I'm gonna say when it was like maybe when I was like, I'm gonna say maybe when I was like 10 or 12, and I remember there was this one girl. in the swimming club that I was in swimming classes, and yeah, and I remember I was just told, and she wasn't like, yeah, I was just totally floored by her. I was just totally floored, and she wasn't like, you know, she wasn't necessarily, it wasn't like a crush, as in like all the boys thought she was hot,
Right.
and it was this, but it was like, I just remember like, yeah, I was just totally in love with her. I used to like write her letters and stuff.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah, this kind of thing, like, and just like obviously like never send them or give them to her, but I used to just like, you know, kind of do stuff like that, even just for myself. I just, yeah, I was totally in love with this girl. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's so sweet. It's very genuine as well, because you made me remember now about my first love as well.
Mm.
You know, and I remember it was this girl. I was 12-year old, and she was sitting in front of me in the classroom.
Mm.
And I remember she had this very beautiful long hair,
Mhm.
and I was sitting behind her, and I was all the time touching her hair. There was something there between us.
Yeah, yeah.
Until a very evil friend of mine. I still friend with her, actually. We are very close. So back school, we had this container with like pens and everything. Yeah, where you
Mhm.
keep pens.
Mhm.
And I genuinely, I wrote my name and I wrote her name in my, you know, in my thing, and I
Yeah.
put art like that. And I left there. And one day, this friend of mine, she asked me, William, can you lend me like a pen? I said, yeah, take from my case. And she opened and she saw that. You know what she did? She literally stand up in the classroom and said, oh my God, William loves Larissa. That's it. I felt so embarrassed.
Yeah.
We didn't talk for like, me and her didn't talk like for 2 years, because she was embarrassed as well. The girl, yes, because
no.
yes, it was horrible. It was horrible because we had such a, and she liked me as well. We had this very beautiful connection. I mean, it's a teenage, you know. It was love because it was a love there, but we didn't know about other things, about
No,
connecting
yeah.
love. It was a
Sure, yeah.
genuine feeling. And this girl, this friend of mine, she literally made this, and I felt so embarrassed. She felt embarrassed as well
Mm.
because she wasn't expecting that. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Anyway, in the end, we kind of worked out, and now we are friends again. But you know, she was my very first love. It was very, when I think about it, my God. And when I was thinking about her, my heart was like, dun, dun, you know what I mean? It was a beautiful thing. I love it. So I get your point. So
Yeah,
this,
word, beautiful.
yeah, it was very genuine. But yeah, it was the very first one. And of course, after I had other, you know, situation that I got hit as well. But this one was the very first one. That was a bit
Yeah,
tragic.
sure. Yeah, I know what you're saying. That's beautiful, man.
2 questions left. Let's do
Okay,
it.
let's do it.
Alex, let's do a game before the next question. So let's pretend now you're gonna put together like you know, a scene or a theater play or something. You are on it as well. You have the biggest budget in your hands, so you can pay anyone in the world to play your mom. Yeah, in this play, you can get anyone in the world to play your dad. Also, you can get any, you know, actress to play your romantic partner, and at the same time as well, you can have anyone to help you, like a director, to help you to put all this play together, this project together. And of course, they don't need to look like your parents, just people who admire, that you'd love to work with in this project. So tell me those names.
Do they have to be living?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna go with people who do, I think, resemble the thing anyway, because
Yeah.
I like the things that came to mind. I think for my mother.
And they might be watching this interview as well, and they're gonna be, I would like
Let's hit them up and do it. So I think for my mom, I'd probably get Olivia Colman.
Oh my God, I love her.
She's just brilliant, you know. She's just fantastic.
I watched her speech on the Oscars like at least 30 times when she accepted the Oscar. Oh my God, it was so beautiful, emotional, everything. I love Olivia Colman.
She just seems like a great person, like flawless person.
Genuinely, she come across. Absolutely, good choice.
Honest to God. I think for my dad, I'd probably get Marlon Brando, because when he was, a lot of people said that he looked like Marlon Brando when he was younger, and I think there's something kind of similar. If knowing Marlon Brando, like I feel like there's something kind of similar between him, and also I think Olivia Colman and Marlon Brando opposite each other would just be like, what?
Wow.
Yeah. And then like for my romantic partner, I have an ex who, they were filming a film in Ireland, and Florence Pugh was like the star of it. It's called The Wonder, and she ended up being like Florence Pugh's stand-in on that film. So they're very kind of similar. So I'd probably get Florence Pugh to play, and also Florence Pugh is just like, oh man, what a crush! She's just incredible. So those three: Olivia Colman, Marlon Brando, and Florence Pugh. And then for a director, you know what? I think Denis Villeneuve. Yeah, I think Denis Villeneuve. Um,
Okay.
yeah, because he's done, he's done like Dune and what you
Wow.
call it, Blade Runner and all these recently. But some of like the closer dramas he's done, like Prisoners, they're
Uh-huh.
just incredible. So I think this is shaping up to be a very dramatic film. The
For
whole,
sure.
yeah, I'm going like full 10 out of 10. Like it's either Oscars or nothing. Yeah,
I love it.
very full
Um,
away.
Next question is, do you know anyone who is living their life to the fullest?
Yeah, I do. I do. I
Tell
do.
me.
You want me to tell you about? So I'm going to give you three. I think one is my friend over. You know what? I'm going to give you four actually. One of them is my friend, the one who's over in Bali in Australia.
Uh-huh.
Another one is this other friend I have. She'll know. I won't say too much, but she's over in Waterford. She lives a very cool, very crazily cool life. Traveled a bunch, and she's totally, how would you say it? She has the kind of same thing for being locked in as I do, of like self betterment and like working on your habits and who you are as a person. She has the same passion to do good, I think, in the world and to be the best person she can. So there's her. And then two other people. One of them is Luke. I have to shout out Luke. Luke, I think, is just crazy. Luke is Luke O'Rourke. That is his name, right? It is Luke O'Rourke. I just know him as Luke. He is. I've never seen someone so in tune with nature. He does like these retreats. He plays all these festivals, kind of wellness festivals. He does meditation. He does pretty much everything. He's just, and he's so tuned in and turned on. His
Uh-huh.
life looks incredible. I have the utmost. He's just an incredible human being. And the last person is Mihal, and I don't even really know what to say about Mihal, but I feel like Mihal is, oh man, he's just so. I just feel like he's so tuned in to being present, and
Wow.
he says things that I think, or says or does things that a lot of the time people kind of look at him like almost in shock, but
Right.
they almost like can't argue with him because they're like, whoa, yeah, you're right,
I
like,
love that. I love
yeah,
those people. Yeah.
yeah, and like just so incredible to be around, and to witness them just to witness them live life is a joy. Yeah, yeah. So those four, I'd
And
say.
and what's the meaning of life for you, Alex, when you think about life?
um hmm. I feel like the meaning of life has always been about returning home.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think in whatever context, that like scientifically or spiritually or whatever, I think it's always been about just going home.
I
Yeah.
like that. Oh wow.
Hmm.
That's amazing. And why is
Yeah.
that? Why do you think is that?
Um. Hmm. Why do I think that? Why do I think that? Um.
Do you think that's because home is a safe place to be, or because the roots, or because why do you think that is your answer?
I'm not sure why that answer came up, but
I love your answer.
yeah, I love it as well. I don't know why it came up, but that was the answer that came up. And when you asked me about that, I thought about, just really, I just thought about, the general, our understanding of the universe and life and God and everything like this. And
Yeah.
I think even in that, I think it's just about coming home. Um, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I love it. Genuine and pure. I love your answer.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It feels that way. Feels that way.
Last question, ready?
Let's do it. Last
Let's do
questions, huh?
this one.
No.
By the way, people on social media, they talk about your eyes, they point on you about your eyes sometimes or not.
Yeah, they do. They point at the eyes a lot. Yeah.
I'm sure it's like an icebreaker for you, yeah? When you're gonna meet someone, at least people go like, wow.
Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah.
Before the last question, as you mentioned at the beginning of the interview about the Beatles, yeah, that's you love the Beatles. So I'm gonna put you a little bit on the spot right now. Let's pretend that four of them, all of them, they're still with us, the Beatles. Was four or five? Was four?
Four.
Four. So let's pretend they're all here with us still, yeah? One day, you're gonna wake up in the morning having 4 missed calls on your phone for those four from the Beatles, from one each. Which one you call back straight away? Which one you send a message? I call you back later. And the other two, you don't call back, you don't send a message, you just ignore them for now. So tell
Ignore them.
I know.
Oh man. Okay, well the first thing I just have to go what my gut said. I'd call John back. I'd call John Lennon back.
Wow.
And then I'd probably tell Paul I'll text him later.
The other two, just ignore them.
I know, and that sounds like such a generic answer because it's like, oh, it's John and Paul, and then George and Ringo in the back. That sounds like such a generic answer. I can't believe I said that, but it's true. Okay. It's true. And I go through phases of like being more obsessed with one Beatle than the other, like through different. And at the moment, I think John is just. Yeah, I'm in a John mood at the moment.
Amazing. Okay. Last question is: what motivates you the most in life?
This sounds kind of strange, but I think I'm going to say like myself, and I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Do you meditate?
Actually, fun enough, I start doing it, but just before going to bed to relax me a little bit because I'm over the moon when I'm, doing the interviews and everything, and I cannot sleep because all the energy is still here.
Yeah.
So I start doing it before literally sleeping because it helps to calm down all my energy that I'm exploding.
Sure, it separates you from it, puts a gap between you and everything else.
Yes.
Let me get the light up for you again. Sorry. So I'm gonna say myself for motivation. And I was thinking specifically of, this now because when you meditate before bed, and I would do the same. When you meditate and you shut everything off, I feel like you kind of get answers from yourself. That will either point you, they might point you like in a direction or point out something to you where you are supposed to learn something or grow something. And oftentimes when I feel like I'm putting off a difficult conversation or I'm not doing my best in some degree, if I'm slacking off, myself will tell me. And I feel like at least nowadays, that's my biggest motivator. It's just like listening to whatever that tells me. And when it gives me something to act on, to take a step and act on it. I feel like that's where I'm drawing from.
Wow. What's your star sign astrology, Alex?
I'm a Libra.
Oh, so you're in October?
October, yeah.
So you just passed now, your birthday, not long ago.
Yeah, my birthday was 10 days ago.
Oh my God. So tell me, did you like celebrating birthdays or for you just a normal day?
It's funny. I would like celebrating birthdays, but I didn't do a single thing for it, didn't buy myself anything, didn't do anything nice for it, didn't have a bath or anything like. And I feel like I want to get better at celebrating birthdays, but also like, I guess to me, it's also like, why not treat every day like it's your birthday,
True. And aging for you, something that bothers you or you just see as a matter of life?
About aging?
Aging, yes. How do you see aging? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, aging is interesting. I think people have the capacity to get younger as they go through life. I think you'll know what I'm talking about, that they kind of, which is kind of the goal, they kind of become more enthusiastic or more happy or more joyful about whatever they're doing. So yeah, it's funny. Like I think aging is beautiful, but it's also I feel like it's almost beautiful because it's almost irrelevant. I find that people in their really like later years can be as curious as children. Yes. And children can be just as wise as someone who's lived for 100 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gets you.
Yeah.
Right, so the yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to say some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay, God, scary.
One word for money.
Green.
Fear.
Clouds.
Family.
Rebecca.
Oh, sweet. Life.
Light.
Love.
People.
Religion.
Books.
Sex.
Good.
Politics.
Suits.
Friendship.
Smiles.
Desire.
Wind.
Regret.
Sitting down.
Success.
Tall. Peak of a mountain.
Wish.
Feather.
Happiness.
A light bulb.
Amazing. One word for acting.
For acting.
Yeah?
The ocean.
One word for Ireland.
Era.
One word for music.
Colors.
And the last one now, the Beatles. One word. Wow, your eyes just went like, it's a big word for sure, it's going to be.
Love.
Right, so before, so tell me, if I would go for a coffee with your best friend, the one who just went to Bali now, if I would ask your best friend, define Alex in one positive and one negative word only, what your best friend would say about you?
Positive word, he said this a lot, so I'm going to say that this is inspiration.
Okay.
And negative word, what he has to say about me. I'm just gonna say annoying, because I feel like I really go on rants to him about like, did you hear like Kendrick Lamar's new album? Look how good the snare is on this track. And I just be rapping him about music. So I feel like inspirational and annoying are pretty good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Let's play now, Alex, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the news one more time. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, before you ask me the question, tell me your top 3 favorite songs of the Beatles.
Top 3 favorite songs of the Beatles at the moment?
Yeah,
because it changes. One that's always been close to my heart is "She's So Heavy."
Okay.
I've had incredible moments with that song. The Word on Rubber Soul. It's the word, be like me. And the third one, it's something off Revolver. It's I think it's Tomorrow Never Knows, maybe. No, it's not Tomorrow Never Knows. Maybe it's Eleanor Rigby. Yeah, let's say Eleanor Rigby.
Amazing. Okay, Alex, you can ask me a question now.
William, I wanted to ask you did you ask me what the meaning of life was? Because I think if that's the question, I want to throw it back on you. What do you feel is the purpose? What do you feel is the meaning? What do you feel is at the heart of life?
Oh, wow. Great question. You know what? For me, the meaning of life, it's, for you to be able to wake up every single day, yeah, like in the morning or in the afternoon, whatever your time zone is, and knowing that you're gonna start your day knowing that you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna feel the greatest, you're gonna feel the saddest. It's this feeling about knowing that it's a roller coaster that you're gonna go through a lot in your life. I think it's always a surprise. I see life as a surprise every day. I think there's always something for you to face somehow, something that's gonna come to you and you're gonna deal with, or sometimes you're not gonna be able to. You're gonna depend on others. So it's this question mark that's every day. I see it as a blessing every single day when you know that. So that's the meaning for me when I think about life. It's knowing that it's something that you're gonna have the opportunity coming along every single day. That's life talking to you every single. Oh my God, I never said that. It came to my mind now. Looking outside here, this beautiful, colors of Canada with this, this change of, it's autumn. It just came this now. It's this moment, life trying to show you to not show, but it's like give you the opportunity for you to learn every single day about something. Could be anything. Could be something very simple, something very drastically, or something very unique. Could be anything. But I think it's life talking to you. I think that's the meaning of it. When you mention about going back home, it's the same feeling I have as well. When you are living life, it's life talking to you. Like every second, you're living life is talking to you. So I never thought about that. And it came very genuinely as well as your answer as well. So I think that's the meaning of life for me, able to live every day, knowing that, it's going to be a lot of surprise, good, challenge, bad, and all of them are going to come sometime. So yeah, great question. You made me think now. And genuinely, based on your answer, genuinely came this answer for you as well. So yeah. Thanks for the question.
Beautiful answer. Beautiful.
Did you enjoy the interview, Alex?
Man, yeah. Honestly, I really did. This has been great. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for doing these videos.
Thanks again. Thanks for being so kind. Thanks for being so sweet and bring this, this vibe. I love, passionate people here. I love when I can feel the vibe of people here. Carry on, with your career. I think it's amazing. I love the way you express yourself as well through your videos, and also through, I think it's amazing. I think people on social media is a platform for us to be ourselves and expose ourselves the way you think is the best and connect with others as well. I think it's about connecting with others. So thanks again for taking the time for the interview. And before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Be yourself. Yeah, be yourself. Everything else will fall into place as long as that is happening. And that might mean that you make some mistakes. That might mean that if you be yourself, that sometimes you'll do something that's you might look back on and think is embarrassing, or you might go red or something, or it might be difficult sometimes to be yourself. But ultimately, when you wake up tomorrow, the next day, you'll know that you're a little bit closer to who you really are because you were yourself.
Totally.
Yeah, I think being yourself, and be yourself, not just be and then yourself, but be your and then capital S self.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
To remind you every day to be yourself. Great.
No,
thanks again. Enjoy your day. It was a pleasure connect with you. Okay.
Thank you so much, Will. Thank you for doing these. Have a good day.
Bye bye. Take care.
Bye bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first subscribe to our channel, and after that just go to our website www.williamandthemagicbox.com and send us a request saying why do you like to be part of the show, and I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.